Welcome to Ludicrous Laws, the show where we dive deep into the wildest, weirdest, and most mind-boggling laws from around the world. First up, we're heading to Singapore, where chewing gum is actually illegal. That's right, since 1992, you can't sell or import chewing gum into the country unless it's for medicinal purposes. Why, you ask? Well, it all started when Singapore wanted to become one of the cleanest cities in the world. Officials got fed up with gum being stuck everywhere on sidewalks, public transportation, and even inside mailboxes. The tipping point: someone stuck gum on the sensors of an MOT train door, causing massive delays. So the government said enough is enough and banned it entirely. If you're caught smuggling gum into the country, you could face a hefty fine or even jail time. But here's the kicker: dentists and pharmacists can still sell sugar-free gum for medical use. So technically, chewing gum isn't illegal, just mostly illegal. Next, let's travel to Switzerland, where they've taken animal rights to the next level. Did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig? Yep, under Swiss law, guinea pigs are considered social animals, which means they need the companionship of their own kind to stay happy and healthy. If your guinea pig's buddy dies, you're legally required to get it a new friend or risk a fine. But don't worry, Swiss entrepreneurs have you covered. There are actually companies that rent out guinea pigs to grieving owners until they can find a permanent replacement. It's both adorable and kind of strange at the same time, don't you think? Moving on, we're off to the United Kingdom for a law that sounds straight out of a Monty Python sketch. It's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. The reasoning: if someone were to pass away in Parliament, they'd technically be entitled to a state funeral because it's considered a royal palace. To avoid the bureaucratic headache, they decided to make dying illegal, in theory. Of course, enforcing this law would be, well, a bit tricky, but it's still technically on the books. Pet lovers, you'll appreciate this one. In Rome, Italy, it's illegal to neglect your dog's exercise. That's right, if you own a dog, you're required by law to walk it at least once a day. This law is part of a broader effort to promote animal welfare in the city, and honestly, I think it's a pretty great idea. Fail to comply, and you could face a fine of up to €500. So, if you're planning a move to Rome, make sure your furry friend is ready for some daily adventures, or you might find yourself in legal hot water. Here's one for the travelers. In Sri Lanka, taking selfies with a Buddha statue is considered disrespectful and is actually against the law. Why? Because in their Sri Lankan culture, turning your back on a Buddha statue is seen as an insult to their religious traditions. If you're caught snapping a selfie, you could face fines or even deportation. So, next time you're at a temple, stick to photos where you're facing the statue. No cheeky selfies allowed. Switzerland makes the list again, and this time it's for a law that will make you think twice before using the bathroom at night. In some apartment buildings, it's illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. Why? Noise complaints. The Swiss take their peace and quiet very seriously, and late-night flushing is considered disruptive to neighbors. Of course, this isn't strictly enforced everywhere, but it's definitely one of the more peculiar laws on our list. Next, we're heading to Greece, where high heels are banned at ancient monuments like the Acropolis. This law was put in place to protect these historic sites from damage caused by pointy heels. While it might sound odd, it makes sense when you consider the wear and tear that millions of visitors cause every year. So, if you're planning a trip to Athens, swap out those stilettos for sneakers. Here's one for car owners. In Russia, driving a dirty car is illegal. The exact definition of dirty can vary, but if your license plate isn't visible due to mud or grime, you could be fined on the spot. This law was introduced to promote cleanliness in public spaces, but it's also become a bit of a running joke among Russians. Just imagine getting pulled over for having a dirty bumper. In Milan, Italy, there's a law requiring you to smile at all times except during funerals or hospital visits. This quirky rule was introduced centuries ago as a way to boost public morale. While it's rarely enforced, the idea of getting fined for frowning is both hilarious and a little intimidating. So, if you're ever in Milan, make sure to keep those pearly whites on display. Okay, brace yourself, because this one might hit a little too close to home for some of you. In Samoa, it's actually illegal to forget your wife's birthday. Yes, you heard that right. If you're the forgetful type, this law could land you in serious trouble. While the specifics of the punishment aren't exactly spelled out, locals say it can range from hefty fines to public humiliation or worse, sleeping on the couch indefinitely. Imagine being hauled into court and the judge asks, "Sir, do you have any idea what day it was last Friday?" So, let this be your friendly reminder. Mark your calendars, set your phone alarms, and whatever you do, don't forget your wife's birthday, or you might end up facing a legal system and a very angry spouse. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Which of these crazy laws surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and if you know of any other wild laws, I'd love to hear about them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's episode, where we'll dive into the strangest food laws from around the world. Until then, stay curious and stay legal.